Lords, I rise to make a range of cross-party and indeed non-party support for this bill even broader, and thank the noble Lord Addington both for bringing it and for so comprehensively introducing it. I think the noble Lord Crisp made a very powerful point. The noble Lord started talking about prevention of health, prevention of ill health. But I think he then got to the point where we really need to be, where we need to get well-being, and physical activity is absolutely crucial to well-being, to a healthy society. And as I was looking into today's debate, I looked back to a speech that I gave in July 2015 to the University of Manchester's Festa of Public Health UK, which was in fact an international event. And I said there, we have in the UK a society that's making its members ill, a society that's failing to provide clean air, adequate housing, a healthy diet, failing to provide safe jobs and decent benefits, failing to provide opportunities for exercise, failing to provide an education that prepares pupils for life. Ending that quote. We are now 7 years on, and I don't believe there's a single measure that I set out then on which we have seen positive progress, which is extraordinarily telling. Although I note that it's not through want of the efforts of my noble friend Baroness Jones of Balston, and this House has indeed, with broad support, just put through the Clean Air Human Rights Bill, and I hope that that might be one area where we could see very rapid progress. But I'm going to concentrate in my speech on sports, I think appropriately, since Lord Addington is such a champion in your Lordship's House on this area. And I would stress the need to really change the conversation. I was on a politicians panel on BBC's 5 Live this week. Now, for perhaps reasons that my accent makes obvious, there was a discussion of the England-Wales World Cup game, and I was not asked to contribute to that one. However, had I been asked to contribute, what I was sitting there bursting to say was, where's the huge programme around this high-profile event to get people during and after the event out kicking a ball around, throwing a ball around, running around, as people are watching so many people, high-profile celebrities, now doing on television? There was that question, but of course the next question, which other noble lords have already raised, is where will people, particularly children, kick that ball? Where will they be able to run around? Now, I put a question on the 24th of November to His Majesty's Government, which was given to the Cabinet Office. What assessments have they made of the public health impacts, including on loneliness, lack of opportunities for physical activity and provision of services locally, of the sale of public buildings and space in England each year? Now, I put that down on the 24th, and I got the answer a couple of days later, quite surprisingly, which does perhaps suggest not a great deal of involvement, and was told any decision will consider social cost and public value in line with His Majesty's Treasury's Green Book guidance. That was the answer I received. I think the noble Lord Addington in this bill is really making a point about the need of a change in mind in the government, that it needs to regard physical activity and sport as a crucial issue, which I don't think the answer I received there suggests that it currently does. Now, this is not a new situation. I draw noble Lord's attention to an interesting campaign just launched by the Carnegie UK Trust and Fields in Trust charity. The hashtag is FieldFinders, and it's looking to find lost playing fields that between 1927 and 1935, the Carnegie UK Trust gave nearly £200,000, which was £10 million in today's money, for nearly 900 playing fields across the UK. Now, it's interesting because, as I think is often typical with history, they didn't keep a record of where those all are. So now they're asking the public to help to find them, and I think very interesting to find how many of them are still playing fields, because that money was given in perpetuity so that those fields would continue to be in use in perpetuity. And I think I can probably guess what the results they're going to find is many of them will not now be playing fields. Now, I think that's focusing on playing fields, but of course the space that's right near every child, every person, is a road. And again, we haven't seen government leadership in this area, but civil society leadership in the form of the Play Streets campaign, which started in Bristol in 2011 and has since grown around the country. And this is a scheme by which streets are temporarily but regularly closed off to become sites of play by people in the neighbourhood, managed by people in the neighbourhood. And of course, they're not just sites of play, they're also sites of interaction. What this campaign is saying is we need a long-term culture change. It needs to be safe for children to play out on the streets all of the time. Now, my lords, I say many radical things in your lordship's house. I suspect many might regard that as the most radical. But let's think about recapturing the streets for people. That is the space that we all need to be able to use freely, without danger, and, cycling back to my noble friend's bill, in a clean air environment. That would be a huge step towards a radical society, and one in which, as the noble Lord Addington's bill makes clear, is absolutely a government responsibility.